Welcome back from that short break. You're still watching Sunrise at Sea right here on CTV, and the conversation continues on our Twitter jabs too. And in studio with me is Mr. Rapper Ricky Thompson from Safe Border. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. To Simbude.
Hey. Eh?
Yes,
Baba God Day, they have opened it for you now.
Batu good day.
Eh,
Batu God day.
That is what I meant to say. Gerald is laughing at me from behind the camera. Yes, that is what I meant to say. Thank you for the correction. So in our Twitter Jabs 1, we were discussing the president's remarks that he made at the Taheresita,
yeah.
yes, 41st celebrations that happened in Mbale yesterday. That was 6th February, and he did say that starting today after 6 p.m. Boda Bodas are open and they are now allowed to work, you know, in the night. I see you smiling.
Yeah, because it's been a very difficult time for the people in the border industry. It's been a very difficult time even for other people who are not in the border industry. People are in the media, people are into food, people are into hotels, people are in bars and restaurants. It's been quite a difficult moment for Ugandans, I tell you, because literally in Uganda there is no other easier, faster and affordable means that can take you to your doorstep.
And reliable, actually.
Yes, both during the day and during the night.
Yes.
So you get to realize that things were getting very difficult. I mean, everyone else was complaining. You guys knew that whenever there was a situation late, past 7 p.m., you needed to jump on the border
yes,
and be able to reach there as soon as possible. Now you cannot get stuck in traffic just like any other person. You will not be able to get the story as fast as possible.
Yes.
So it was a difficult time. I also realized that I actually met a lot of people who were saying that, you know what, we would love to party and go out, but then they would go to the bar and then leave in the morning because they cannot go back home.
Yes.
Literally, there is no way for you to go back home because the taxi or the cars are very expensive to hire.
True.
If you have to hire one to get to your home, and most of them does not bring us to our homes. Most of the places where these young people live, taxis cannot get them to the doorstep. Like
yes,
it's practically right that because we don't live in the Naguru, in the Nakasero, and in the Kololo of this country.
yes,
there are a lot of small roads that only border borders can pass. A four-wheel
yes,
cannot take people there. Even taxis like a matatu just moves on the main road. It doesn't go to the roads that takes us to our homes. So it was a difficult situation. I think everyone else has spoken. The media people had spoken, the musicians had spoken, the people in the industry had spoken, members of private sector from different parts had actually spoken. And I think everyone realized that this is something that was important. And we really thank the president.
absolutely.
It's one of those things that when it's done, you feel like, yes, now
Yes,
I can.
we did something about it.
Yes, we did something. Because when we started this conversion, it was a difficult one. Some people were telling us, you don't need to talk about these things.
When did the conversation start? Because I know that you were working with the E-Trade Association of Uganda, the umbrella organization that converges companies and organizations that use, the power of the internet to create jobs. So when did this conversation start?
So
because
literally,
I know the hashtag started last month in January after the economy was open. The hashtag Boda after 7.
So the Boda After 7 hashtag came into action after realizing that the needles were not being moved.
Yes.
Things like the hashtag and the petition came over like a month ago.
Yes.
But from the time when lockdown was initiated in this country, we started having a conversation of how we can get back to work.
Yes.
And how we can also be supportive to the entire process. Remember when they initiated the first total lockdown, where borders were only allowed to move at 2 p.m., we were in the center. We were helping people to make sure that people can get food, medicine.
That's true.
At their doorstep. Actually, the priority groups, which included the doctors, the security people, the media people, we were the ones transporting them. So at that very beginning, we told government, look, you're actually prioritizing certain people or certain groups, but also there's no way these people cannot work with us. They need us at a certain point, So actually we engaged government and made sure even during the time of vaccination, we took center stage and made sure that, you know what, our people are aware, you know, they know what to do, our borders get vaccinated, our customers get vaccinated, our friends get vaccinated, members of the private sector, we led the campaign at Kololo, where we got 3,000 people vaccinated.
Oh, wow.
We went to Bulange, where we got over 7,000 people vaccinated in a weekend. Then we went in all the divisions across Kampala. Boda Boda was in the mix, members of businesses. UBL was actually the key leader, plus other people as well.
Yes.
Coca-Cola and every other person who were together, even Safe Border. We opened at a vaccination center at Safe Border Academy to see to it that our children get, our borders get vaccinated.
Yes.
And their wives and also members of Chebando
wow.
and our customers as well.
Yes.
So we've really been in the center of this to make sure that we drive, we contribute and prepare the economy for reopening at the time.
Yes.
And we were very optimistic that once the economy is going to be open, government will not leave us behind. Why? Because we have made enormous contribution. We've been in the center of this. When we were left behind, we were like, no. Let's raise our voices and let Ugandans tell us if they don't want us to get back to work.
Yes.
And everyone spoke in like 2 weeks. We had over 10,000 signatures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You see, the government did explain that why they kept the restrictions on Boda Bodas is because that they aid, you know, crimes and criminality around, you know, the city and, you know, within the country. A lot of people have been assassinated by people who used Boda Bodas or have had attempts on their lives by people who were using Boda Bodas. So how are you, especially as Safe Border, ensuring that you're going to work with the government so that you find, you know, effective ways to curb this? Do you have any policies in place to ensure that you have, you know, where all your Safe Borders are at a given time?
Yeah, so already we have that. But the reality on the ground is that, and this is something that we would really request you as people in the media to help us with, that when you say border, this means a motorcycle taxi rider.
Yes.
And but then people actually say border to means a motorcycle.
Yes.
Not a motorcycle taxi rider.
Yes.
So what we are saying is that we need clarity on who is a border.
Okay.
Because not every other person, I am assuming someone here at CTV rides a motorcycle to work. Does not ride the fancy one, but rides the small one, the Bajaj,
Yes.
the TVS. And these guys, when they're walking, when they're driving on the road, people see them as if they're border men, when they are actually not. They're just individuals who are transporting themselves on a border.
Yes.
So we've really been having this discussion with government. And I think for us as Safe Border, we've always been a leader in this sector.
Yes.
Not only in Uganda, but in Africa at large. The app that we've been able to build is the #1
Yes.
ride-hailing app for motorcycle taxis in Africa, which is a great achievement. Now, what we have actually said is that the biggest problem that we have had with this industry is that there's been a lack of policy, there's been lack of regulation to actually streamline the operation, because
Yes.
now it leaves it in the hands of many people to just say, we want borders to look like this, we want borders to look like this.
Yes.
So really, I just want to extend my appreciation to the government. They did an
Yes.
amendment on the 1998 Act in 2020.
Yes.
Right now, as the Minister of Works and Transport is working on the digital regulation, public service vehicle, digital network operators licenses, public service vehicle regulation, and then the border regulation.
Yes.
This is aimed at making sure that the industry is safer, the industry is better, the industry is organized and clearly defined. And a border rider can be clearly defined on, you know, like it could be clear now how you become a border driver, how you exit in the border, how you're supposed to behave when you're actually in the industry. And we actually say, and we call upon government to fast track the process and make sure this regulation can be available and can be enforced within the shortest time possible.
Yes.
Because what we have gone through a very difficult time where everyone says anything about the border industry, but this is an industry that employs us, that employs,
Yes.
you know, we were born in Uganda, we went to school in Uganda, and this is our country, and we got employed in the border industry, and that's our job.
Yes.
Everything we have, from the rent we pay, the children we take to school, the beautiful women that we have married at home, the responsibility that we now be able to meet is because of the border industry.
That is true.
So really for us, border has been the best thing as an industry that provides a very decent employment opportunity and with very good income actually. If you look at bordermen, they actually look good because they're annual.
that is very true. That is definitely yes. That is very true. They do look much better now, because before people thought it was. People used to shun Boda people and think that they were low class and were not even deserving of of mutual respect, you understand? But now that I like especially what Self Boda is doing, because you have put them on a high pedestal. However, I still want to know, how do you curb crime? And because also the president did say they are going to introduce the chips and monitoring devices in each of the Boda Bodas. So is at their own cost. So is this going to be a compulsory thing, or is it going to be an optional thing?
I think the president is really interested in knowing who is and where the Boda Bodas are.
Yes. And
already, I just want to take you through what we've been able to do. As Safe Boda, we took KYC very seriously, especially when it comes to our riders. Make sure, one is that you show interest if you want to work with us. Two is that you actually go through an interview process for you to become a member.
Yes.
Then after you go actually through class training, practical class training. And the training includes, road safety training, customer service training, introduction to technology, plus all these other things that you actually need to be able to operate, to use our platform.
Yes.
Then after that, we then also first aid training, first responder training, because one of the things that you'll agree with me is that there are a lot of accidents happening on the road.
That's true.
And mostly whenever there's a situation, there's always a borderman.
Yes.
So we want these people to be more responsible and more supportive to the economy, to the community,
yes,
in case of a situation like that.
Oh wow.
Now, once we have trained them, then we provide them with equipment. The equipment includes a reflector, the reflective vest, which is fully branded, orange, with their name on it.
Yes.
This is something that no one had ever done in the industry. And I think people try to do it. Like, we've had some bit of competition. People want to be like us.
I see you bragging, but yes, it's well deserved.
We're not bragging. We're the leader in the sector, and we're the border men, so we understand the sector actually very well. And my statement actually stands, because unless they become better than us, then we will want to be like them. As long as we are better than them, they want to be like us.
Exactly. Facts. Let's not argue. It is a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after then, we provide them with the reflectors and then the helmet and then the smartphone as well, because we also give them the smartphone. We then connect them to customers using the app.
Yes.
Now the app allows us to actually be able to monitor the behaviors of our drivers.
Yes.
We can know if they're on trip, if they're off trip, stuff like that. That helps us answer a lot of questions, because we can tell you where our drivers are, the history of a driver, how many trips he's taken, and that has also helped drive financial inclusion.
Yes.
You know for sure that there's always been a lot of discussion that even right now, if you have a job and you don't receive a monthly pay,
yes,
it would be difficult to qualify for a financial service, like for an extension of loan, service and stuff like that. So because we've been able to build that history using the platform,
yes,
now actually other partners are able to come on board and extend to them extra financial services. They can take cash loans. They can actually take bike loans. Our partner can give them a bike loan in like 2 hours.
Yes.
It used to be 45 minutes, but now it has kind of gone up a little bit too.
Because there must be some research that has to be done first.
But this is one thing for you to note, that in this country, literally there is nowhere where you can go and you get a loan in 2 hours. It's for a borderman, you cannot go anywhere and be able to get a loan in 2 hours. But for us, if you're a member of our platform and you want a bike, you walk there and come up with a bike. That is how, and this is aimed at empowering our community, because we already know them, we already trust them, we already in KYC, they earn from our platform. There's no reason for us not to support them.
So Ricky, does this apply to all the other Boda Bodas and not just Safe Boda? What about the independent Boda man who is not riding with any platform? Is he also able to access these kinds of services? And then there is also, I'd like you to please comment on the president's remarks of installing monitoring, trackers on every Boda Boda.
Okay.
What do you think about that? Because the president did make these remarks and say that they'll have to install them at their own cost. So for now, we're not sure if it is compulsory and how soon this is going to be implemented. So what do you have to say about that?
On that particular note, we'll discuss this with government.
Yes.
You know, one thing I love about the leadership of President Museveni is that he always engages people.
Yes.
And people are always engaged. We'll talk to the Minister of Works and Transport, Minister of Security, to see how to go about that particular issue. But if it's meant for the betterment of the industry, I think we'll be supportive. We'll need to understand in detail how this is going to work and the possible effect that it could bring,
yes,
both positively and negatively. But I don't see a big red flag right now. I would say I think it's a great thing that government is appreciating the use of technology.
That's true.
You know, when we entered in the industry, and in 2015, that's when we had something, an app like something that looks like an app. It was an app, but really it didn't work.
Yes.
People, when we told people that, you know what, we are building an app for you to connect you to a borderman, everyone was like, no, that's not going to work because I already have my borderman outside my home.
I have my border
or
guy
outside my workplace.
Yes.
Yes, everyone has got a border guy at a certain point. But today, everyone literally uses technology, uses platforms to order for a borderman, order for food, send parcels, buy airtime, I mean,
yes,
buy fuel. Literally everything is happening from the platform. So
yes,
it's a great thing. So it's actually something that we celebrate today, to see that government, when they talk about challenges, we look at technology, the use of technology as being a possible provider of solutions. So it's a great thing, and I think that's within our play.
That the trackers should be installed.
We understand technology, so we'll be able to interpret that for our drivers and advise accordingly. Most importantly is that this government, or any other government, as a business leader, you really need to find the best way to be able to work with them. So I think, as always, we'll be very supportive.
Yes.
We've actually done already most of the work, and that's what we usually call self-regulating. We've literally regulated our drivers. We have a team that cleans the community.
Yes.
We have our rules, our internal rules that we actually follow. That does not require us even to go to court, or as long as it's not criminal in nature.
Yes.
As long as you break our internal code of conduct, we deal with you internally. You know, we have a QA team. We have a disciplinary process internally. So community policing is actually a great thing that for us, even internally, we can clean ourselves.
That's good.
And I think this is part of the work that we have done. We've also seen that in the amendment that was done in 2020,
yes,
government actually 71A. Now let me start quoting the law, the Act of Parliament. 71A, actually, government was recommending that border operators could be organized under companies, under associations, under SACCO or cooperative, or under digital companies. So we actually think that this is the direction that government has taken. And I think the best thing, because when you have very many small, single bordermen, because you're talking about a community of close to 2 million people,
yes,
or even more, so it's difficult for all of them to be monitored. But when you put them into groups, associations, SACCOs and stuff like that, it's actually much more. Yeah, yeah.
So how are Boda Bodas and the Matatu operators? Do you work together? Do you work jointly together?
We literally serve the same customers.
Yes.
So
so there's competition?
No, we're actually very good friends to each other. We complement each other.
Yes.
And I will give you a very good scenario that I live down here and I want to be able to get to a taxi stage.
Yes.
I'm going to jump on a border up to the taxi stage. Then the border will drop me at the taxi stage and I'll get off and enter taxi. When I reach town and maybe I want to go up in Akasero, I'll need a border. So then the taxi will bring a customer, drop the customer, then the borderman will take the customer to the final destination.
Yes.
So we actually transport the same customers and we're actually very good friends. I don't think there's been any bad blood between the border riders and the taxi operators, no.
That's a good thing. So as we wind up, any last remarks as now that the Boda Bodas, the curfew has been lifted? Any final remarks moving forward?
First is I really thank everybody, members of E-Trade, members of Kasita, members of Private Sector Foundation, Uganda, anyone, every Ugandan, the people in the media, oh my God, CTV and the rest of the people, thank you so much for standing with the border riders.
Yes.
We were in a very difficult situation. Our income had dropped to 40% of the total income that we used to earn. And
yes,
now I am sure that the economy has been open, we'll be able to go back to work. We are now going to take our children also to good schools. We'll take care of our elders that we usually take care of.
Yes.
We'll then be able to meet our responsibilities and our loans and stuff like that. So a great thank you to the leadership, President Museveni, for allowing our Boda to come back to work. You know, yesterday I was actually talking to Baxter,
yeah.
and I told him, Kakati, now that, but to good day, President Yato Sumuri Nagamadi, Amana Bange, you go and work and contribute to your household income.
Yes.
I ku President Museveni, I will be uppercut straight up. Because we really, because Yatola Zeti in all the situation is going to be with us.
Yes.
It is always going to start with the population. And I
Yes.
think this is a great thing for us to be able to celebrate. So to the border men, please, let's remain committed.
Yes.
Let's remain disciplined.
True.
I don't want any misbehavior, because I don't want you to go out and then overly enjoy and then get in trouble. So
Yes.
please, let's remain disciplined. Let's remain observant. If you see anything that is not right, please feel free to inform
Exactly.
the authorities as soon as possible. Because people say, I mean, there's a lot of conversation out there that that borders are being used for criminality, but we know that criminals use motorcycles to execute their plan, right?
To their advantage. Yes.
Use the border borders to, or a motorcycle to their advantage.
That's
so
true.
we really want to say that, please, every border man out there, be vigilant.
Yes.
Be the security that is needed in the border industry. Please, let's protect our customers. Let's be respectful to our customers, and let's serve this country, and let's make positive contribution towards the betterment of this country.
Absolutely.
We are young people, and we need to work, and we need to be part of the history that what we've always loved to.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rapper Ricky Thompson, for joining me right here on the Twitter Jabs. Your remarks were absolutely insightful and very helpful. I hope he has been able to answer a number of questions that you had in your mind, you know, as regards to the Boda Bodas and the lifting of the curfew past 7 p.m. As you can see in studio, we are already in the spirit of Valentine's Day. Like, don't forget that this week we have a number of Valentine's Day surprises, you know, in store for you. You won't want to miss that. But coming up in our wellness segment, I'm in the kitchen. I'm going to teach you how to make a mango frappe. Have you ever had one before? Well, stay tuned. This is Sunrise at Sea, and don't blink.